Hi, this is Leigh Ambergy, stampwithleigh.com. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Metro, Ohio, and thank you for stopping by for my video today. I appreciate it when you take the time out of your schedule to stop by. And this is the card that I'm going to say is the inspiration. This card was made, one of the offerings at a recent card buffet class. And it's a masculine card. And I know people struggle with masculine cards. So that's why I'm doing a video on this one. Just changing things up just a little bit. You know, in my video, I like to do that. I like to maybe just switch out a greeting, add a layer, change the embellishments, maybe change the layout from portrait to landscape. But we're basically sticking with the same design. I am just switching out my colors, and I am adding one layer of two-tone cardstock. So I am adding an extra layer. This card, this is from the Waterside Retreat Designer Series paper. It is in the new catalog, and there's also a bundle, a stamp set, and coordinating dies that go with also this paper. It may not even be offered as a suite. I'm really not sure. I did not get the stamps or the dies, but I did get the Designer Series paper. I liked the Designer Series paper. I figured it would be really well for beachy scenes and also for masculine cards. And another pointer for masculine cards is watch your colors. Be very careful with your colors. And I'm talking more of the neutrals, regals, you know, bold colors. And the main thing with masculine cards is you know, it sounds simple, but get feminine, foo-foo-y card set out of your head. You want to think more grays, browns, greens, that type of colors. You want to keep everything pretty much not so much intricate with you know, your dies or your stamping. You want your greeting not to be very scripty or in a sense, again, feminine in nature. You want, you know, more of just a typeset or a bold or a plain font. And if you have Designer Series paper that kind of depicts masculine type vibe to it, then by all means, you know, use that Designer Series paper. This card is just, it's a simple happy birthday greeting. This is from the Banner Sayings bundle. It's online. It coordinates with a punch. But in a sense, to me, these images were small because I had cut the Designer Series paper. So I just wanted a plain, very simple greeting for this card. So, and then again, your embellishments. You can always put ribbon on a masculine card if you want. Just make sure it's more of a not textured ribbon, but it's not like the sheer or the see-through or, you know, overly feminine type ribbon. But this card, I wanted it just a basic masculine card, easy, just layering papers and just some quick embellishments to go on it. So again, the card today, it's the same layout, but I'm changing up colors. Where my card base was basic white on this one, I am going with soft seafoam for this card because I switched this Designer Series paper from that offering, the Waterside Retreat, to this piece of Designer Series paper. All I'm adding different is I am adding a layer of Peaceful Pine two-tone cardstock underneath it. So I'm just adding another layer to just making it look a little more finished or just an elevated, just one step elevated. Isn't that pretty? That would also make, I think this sheet is pretty much solid with the birds. And if you're doing a beachy land scrapbook type card, that would probably look really pretty. So if you've watched my videos, you know my adhesive of choice is my tape runner, but this has a very small border, so I am using liquid glue. for the simple reason it will give me time to sort of wiggle this around to get it exactly how I want it, hopefully, because that border is so narrow. You don't need a lot of liquid glue. If you're using the liquid glue, you don't need a lot of it. You don't need to glob it. You don't need a great big, wider, heavy line for that. It holds very well. You just have to make sure that it does need a little bit of time to set up. So there is that layer. Bringing in now where this piece was, this was Daffodil Delight two-tone cardstock and Night of Navy two-tone. And I actually thought I was pulling out my Darling Duckling, but I grabbed Daffodil Delight instead. It still matches. Darling Duckling is just a little bit more muted, but it still works. So Darling Duckling and Night of Navy would not go with this piece of Designer Series paper. So I pulled out Pecan Pie and another piece of Peaceful Pine two-tone cardstock. And if you have not tried two-tone cardstock, you have your regular, I'm calling the regular tone on one side, and then a lighter tone on the other side. If you have not tried this, I really encourage you to get it. I love using the two-tone for, number one, to give me the option of a slightly different tone. But the main thing is for layering. It's great for layering. It does not add weight and bulk to your projects. And that's what I really like about it, is that I'm not adding bulk or weight. Wow, am I off on that one? I'm not adding bulk or weight to my cards. I had everything really good, and then I let the bottom sort of take off and go wonky on the side. Two-tone cardstock, it's kind of a happy medium between, it's kind of like Goldilocks, between our cardstock and our Designer Series paper. It's not as thin or lightweight as Designer Series paper, but it's not as heavy or thick as our cardstock. So it's just right for if you want to do layering. Yeah, so that's why I love it. All right, so I've got my pieces, parts here of my Designer Series paper, and I just gotta, I cut them all in order. I cut a, these are 2 inches by 1 inch pieces, and I cut a 2-inch strip of my Designer Series paper, and then I cut it into 1-inch pieces so that it would all be going in the same order. And why does that look like that's not in the same order? But I guess it is. This piece doesn't look right. That's because this goes here. That goes there, and this goes here. Oh, talk about wah-wah. Yeah, that was... So anyway, it's all in order. So I am going to just place this onto my panel here because I just want placement to get this to where I think it's going to look good and be spaced out properly. That doesn't mean it's going to end up that way. Oh, and this looks like that's going to be one of those days for this video, folks. All right, so this kind of look okay. So I'm going to pull one off, and again, I'm going to use my liquid glue, because if I do need to jostle this around, I want to be able to have room. I am going to kind of put my finger there just so that that doesn't move too much on me. And I want to see if I've kind of got that centered from side to side. The bottom doesn't look too good. That one end looks a little up. Let's see if we can maybe change that a little bit, get a little bit more straight at the bottom. Yeah, I think I just got it all worse. So I'm going to have to just pick it up. See if I can just move it just a tad. Gosh, and it still looks, maybe it's just the way I'm holding my head. That still looks a little off. But I can't do anything about it now. It's at the bottom, so hopefully it won't be that noticeable. But now I just got to put my pieces, parts back on here. All right, I'm going to pull another one off. Oh my goodness, let's see if I can do better with these moving forward. That was painful, folks. Okay. That looks like it's dry. It's lined up. This one's coming off with my finger. Okay. At least I know they're lined up properly. And I must have a piece of glue somewhere on my fingernail because it's picking up the other pieces for me automatically. It's pretty nice of it. All right, let's see if we can get this one on here. All right. Not quite exactly spaced even, but you know what? Oh my gosh, when I went to push that down, I got it out of alignment. Let's see that. Still a little catawampy here. Let's see. Just need this over just a tad. Oh, you know, when I made the one for the original one for the class, I had no issues with this stuff. Isn't that the way it always goes? You take your children, they were little out in public and they embarrassed you to death, and I go actually film the video and it's just not turning out right. So now I'm back to my tape runner, and I'm going to adhere this piece onto the right side of my card. Just trying to make sure that my top and bottom margins look semi-okay. All right, so now for the inside, this one is, I hope your day is delightful. And the inside stamp set is from Words and Wishes. That's also new in the catalog. That's the one that has the thank you, happy birthday, the dies with the words and the shadows. So I'm pulling out Perfect Pine. On the original, this was Night and Navy. So I'm going to pull out my Peaceful Pine. I'm going to stamp my greeting, hopefully straight. Okay. Also, I have the Happy Birthday. This is from, I don't know if I said it or not, Banner Sayings bundle. Coordinates with the punch. It looks like there's something on that side of the scrap. So let's, and of course it's crooked. Let's turn it over. See if we can do better. Oh my gosh, it's still crooked. I wonder if it's the stamp. Well, you know what? We're going to mount that maybe. That's just irritating me. It's a scrap. I know I have another piece of scrap in here somewhere. It's all kinds of white scrap. I don't want one that's huge, but I don't want one piece that's way too small. Here we go. All right, rid of that. I'm going to pull out a piece of scrap paper because I could have sworn this was on here straight, and it probably is straight. It's just probably me. It's just probably my head that's not straight. So much better. Oh, my mommy said there would be days like this. Now I'm going to pull out a piece of Peaceful Pine scrap because I want to punch this out twice. So, yeah, I think I'm going to, on this one, this other way, on this one I stayed with like the flagged on both ends. And you know what, maybe I am going to change this up just a little bit. Let's try just a one-sided. Okay, let's try one. I'm just going to do the flag on the one end. And let's see how that works. If I can get this in here to where I like how it's going, that I think it's straight. There we go. All right, so we have that. And then my scrap piece. That's out of the way, that's out of the way. And I just want this to be just an edge, just a little banner on the edge. And I don't know. I'm not so sure now if I like that. Which I guess I could just put it there. But I don't know. Now I'm thinking, should I have done it the other way? Should I have done the flag the other way? Let's see. Let's grab some more. Got plenty of scrap white, so let's grab some scrap white. Still got some peaceful pine scrap left. Ah, maybe I should just leave it the way it is. Make it flagged on both ends. I don't know. Sometimes you feel, and gosh darn it, if I did not stamp that straight again. Okay, that's better. So do I want it with, I really don't think I want the flag at that end. So you know what, we're just gonna, maybe this one? Let's try this one. I'm trying all kinds of things. Let's just try it and see what's happening here. I just want to cut that off. And we'll pop one of those out. I really hate using all this paper for that, but yeah, it's not going to matter. I'm going to pop all three out. That way if I change my mind again, I've got them. All right, so let's see how that works. Which, I don't know. I just feel like the greeting, is getting lost. So I probably do need to just stick with the original one. But no, I don't have that. All right, another piece of scrap white paper. Probably watching this video going, she's so mean, can't that chick make up her mind with what she wants to do? Yeah, you want to try something different, so just try something different. If you don't like it, just go back to the original. But again, I wanted to see what it would look like using something different. I don't like that. I like that better. I don't think that's enough on there because I kind of goobered that up. So let's pull out another piece of scrap peaceful pine. All right. Okay, I'm going to get that. When I said I punched out all three, it did not punch out. The one side did not have a point. So here we go. All right, I promise, folks, this will be it. There we go. All right, all this out of my way. What I did on this scissors is I cut this in half. And sometimes I cannot get the top, this lined up even to where it kind of looks, where I can't see the cardstock. So I'm just sort of kind of mitering this. I'm just cutting a little bit on an angle because it sometimes helps me then with getting to where you don't see my, what's behind there. I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive on each end. And then I'm going to just attach this to just a little bit showing. Okay, nothing looks like it's hanging off the edge. We're going to do that to the other side. Is that about what I have on that side? Maybe just a little bit more. Okay, good. Make sure nothing's hanging off. Get some dimensionals. Got pieces, parts. Those work. There we go. All right, we're going to attach this near the top. You guys kind of like that, or you like it more in the middle? can do it straight. I think I kind of like it on an angle. I don't know. Sometimes I want everything all lined up, nice little ducks in a row, and then other times, yeah, I want something just a little off center. Okay, make sure we got it going the right way. We're going to put it right there. And then, what do I have? I have, for embellishments, this thin stripe here is Old Olive. So these are the, what are these? The Woody Palette Glossy Dots. So that's what I'm going to put on the front. I've got my inside greeting. I hope your day is delightful. We're going to put that on the inside for our greeting. And attach our front panel. And then we'll be done. And you're probably saying, thank goodness. Oh, that greeting was painful. Yeah, usually I decide off camera before I start filming if I'm going to change the greeting up. That's when I do it then. But then I didn't do that. I decided while I was filming I was going to change the greeting, and then I didn't like it. So that's okay. It's all good. I used to work with the guy that no matter what was going on, yeah, he was always saying, it's all good, girlfriend. And I'm like, okay, if you say so. So it's all good. I'm sure it was painful for all of you to watch. Just like it's painful for me to get these embellishments off of here. All right, we need one more. Bump you up onto that one. And let's just put this one right over here. So there we go. Same card, same layout, masculine card. This one is great. It's great just the way it is. This one, all I did was add another layer of two-tone cardstock. Just elevate it one little bit, one little step. It is still the same designer series paper. I just switched the colors. This did not, except for that right there, did not really have any of the blue in it. So I just sort of went with the tones that would work for this. Both great masculine cards, easy to make once you figure out what greeting you want. Very simple to make, and uses minimal supplies. Like I said, this piece of designer paper is 2x4, so it's a 2x4 inch strip, and I just cut it into 1-inch strips. So all of the measurements for this card and a listing of all of the products used are on my blog. I will have a blog post featuring this card, so they will be on my blog, stampwithleigh.com, and in the description box there will be a link that will take you to this blog post so you can see all that information. So again, thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. Bye.